Hello. I am going to walk you through how we are going to solve 3-digit and 3-digit addition as well as subtraction problems using place value and base 10 blocks. So the first thing I'm going to suggest, especially if your child, student, is struggling with doing these types of problems, is I would start with drawing a hundreds, tens, and ones chart. And I am recording this on my phone, so it's not the best quality. I apologize for that. But basically, I'm going to draw hundreds, tens, and ones. And then I am going to draw lines to separate the different sections. Does not have to be perfect, but you're basically going to set your table up like this. If your student or child is really struggling with doing these types of math problems, I would recommend using 2 different colors to represent the 2 different numbers. Make sure you are having your student look, am I adding or am I subtracting? So in this case, we're doing addition first. So I'm going to take my first color, I'm going to use blue, and I am going to draw out my number 528. So I'm going to draw 500s. In base 10, we use like a big brick to represent the hundreds, because when you put 10 tens sticks together, they look like brick. And in class, your child is using those. I just did not bring any home with me this weekend. My next number is 20 for the 28. So I'm going to draw 2 lines to represent tens, because when I put 10 ones together, they look like a stick. For the ones, it's going to depend on your child's school or classroom teacher. In my classroom, we put dots, so I'm going to draw 8 dots. I use dots because I find it easier to ensure they're not mistaking it for 100, because a 1 is a cube. It's a little square. So if they're putting squares here and squares here, it might confuse them. So that is why I use dots instead. So now I can double check. If I were to count this up, I would have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 510, 520, 521, 522, 523, 524, 525, 526, 527, and 528. The next step is just to draw the next number in the picture, because I'm adding. I'm not taking anything away. I'm adding to my picture. So I'm going to use red, and I'm going to add 3 100s. So 1, 2, 3. I need to add 9 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 4 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I am intentional when I place my numbers, and I try to encourage the students to also be intentional. In the hundreds, because we're not getting into thousands, it is not as important. But when I'm looking at my ones and my tens, I am trying to make groups of 5 or groups of 2, depending on how you look at it. You could do it the other way, because you can only have 10 in each before you have to turn it. So if you have 9, you're fine. But as soon as you hit 10, you have to do what's called composing. So you're turning something smaller into a different place value. So now that I have my math drawn, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the ones place, which is labeled with the O. And like I just said, you can only have 10 in here before you make a 10. So 10 ones makes 10. And looking at my picture, I can tell, even without having to count it, that I have too many. I can't have this many. I have 12. So I've got my 10 here and then 2 additional ones. So what I'm going to do is I take these and I cross them off, and I move them over to my 10s. So I composed a new 10. That leaves me with 2 in my 1s place. I now have to look at my 10s. 10 10s make 100. So looking at my picture, because of how I drew my picture in rows of 5, I know I have too many 10s. So I'm going to take 10 of my 10s, cross them off, and I'm going to make a 100. I am left with 2 10s, and then I can count my hundreds. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. And now I can just write this as a number. So I know I have 9 in my hundreds place, 2 in my 10s, and 2 in my 1s. If you feel like your child is understanding the concept with using 2 different colors, then I would recommend moving on to doing a similar math problem, but only using a plain pencil. So again, I'm going to draw my hundreds, my 10s, and my 1s, and I'm going to separate them once again. My first number I'm going to draw is the first number listed, so 189. So 100, 100, 80, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And again, I'm being intentional, 5 across, and then 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The next number is 745. So we're going to repeat the same process as before, but we're not switching colors. So I'm going to draw 7 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 4 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need 5 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, you could put this 1 down here and not have them connected. Same with these. You could have them separate and group your pictures differently, and I can show that on the side over here when we're done. Now we're going to repeat the same process. So over here, I can see that I have more than 10. So I'm going to take 10 of them and turn them into a 10. Once again, I have 4 left over here that I can see. Once again, I have more than 10. So I am going to take my 10, cross them off, turn it into a 100. I have 3 left. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Once you get the basics down, instead of having them write how much are left in each column, you can have them count 100, 200, 300 till they get to the 900, 910, 920, 930, 931, 932, 933, 934. The goal is just to have them accomplish the skill. So for example, when we had the 9 and the 5, your child may also want to draw it like this because they might forget, oh no, how many did I draw? That's okay. You can still simply make a 10, cross it off, and compose their 10 stick. I still have 14 in this picture, regardless if I drew it together or drew it separate. Okay, so now that I've shown you addition, I'm also going to show you subtraction. So in subtraction, we are taking away. When we set this up, we're going to draw the first number. So the first number is going to be 987. We are going to use the same type of picture. So I'm going to skip ahead to that so you don't have to watch me count it. Okay, so I have drawn my picture. I have noticed I am subtracting. The first place that I need to start for my subtracting needs to be the ones, my final number. So I need to take away 8. Looking at this picture, if I were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I do not have 8. It is impossible for me to do this. So I need to do what is called decomposing or borrowing. We no longer use the term borrowing. So when we decompose, we need to take one of the 10s and cross it off. And we are turning it into 10 brand new ones. So I'm going to draw my 10 dots. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to decompose, and I have to make sure that it's 10 more. Then I'm going to look. Can I now subtract 8? Yes. I personally like to take from my brand new 10 to make my 8 because I have it all secluded by itself. Other people like to start up here. As long as you are taking 8 away from somewhere and you are leaving the correct amount left, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take away 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see that I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 left, so I can put my little 9. Now I'm looking at this number. Decomposing this number does not count as subtracting. This does not count as taking, now I have to take 8 away. I still have to take a whole 9 away. Counting my picture, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, I do not have 90 that I can take away. So I once again need to decompose a 100 into a 10. The key word is saying decompose because that's the terminology that they're going to be hearing in school is decompose or break apart. So once again, I'm going to take off one of my hundreds. I have to turn it into 10 10s. I can't just put enough 10s to make it so I couldn't subtract. I need to take an entire 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can now take my 9 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once again, this does not count. That is one of the things that really gets them stuck, is they want to count this as well. I already took that away, but you didn't take it away. You decomposed. So it's like it vanishes. So now I'm going to count how much I have left. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Now I can finally take away my hundreds. I have to take away 2. This is not taking away 2. This one was decomposed, so I need to take 1, 2. I can count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600. So my answer is 689. I'm going to show one more just to re-show the process in case it helps. A little bit different numbers. So we're doing 821 minus 362. Once again, I'm going to quickly draw the problem so we can get started. Alrighty, so I drew my number 821. Once again, I need to start in the ones column with my take away 2. I only have 1 to take away. I cannot take away 2. So I need to decompose. I like to draw the arrow. It helps me remember where it went. I need to draw 10 brand new ones. I can't stop there. Oh, I moved the one over I need. I'm done. We would have the wrong answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can take away my 2. 1, 2. I need to take away 60. I only have 10. Can't do it. Not possible. I need to take away a 100 and decompose into 10 10s. So I'm going to draw 10. 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now I can take away my 60. Once again, this one doesn't count. I have taken away 0. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 that I have taken away. And now I can look at my hundreds, take away my 300s. This one doesn't count, so 1, 2, 3. Now I can either add up each column with how much is left, or I can count it. 100, 200, 300, 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 451, 452, 453, 454, 455, 456, 457, 458, 459. And once again, write my answer on the line. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know, and I will do my best to re-explain anything you need. Thank you so much for watching.